scripture says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and all things were created with him. And without him, nothing was created that we see and live into. The mind of God imagined the universe the way it is and cast it into being. What's distinctive and what are the distinguishing characteristics of human beings? And the answer is simple: the power to reason. Because the scripture says that humanity, and I do believe that humans are a special creation of God, meaning I believe there was a time in history when humans did not exist, and then there was a moment when God created them, and then I believe that from that place forward that human beings did exist. And I do not believe that any evolution ever can create that kind of impact. And the scripture says that we human beings are created in the image of God. And the image of God, to me, is our unique capacity to reason. But it means simply that beings are different. Human beings stand alone in the created order. And that difference, that distinction, is the capacity to reason. And that is the image of God that God planted in human beings. I believe that. So God gives reasoning power to human beings. But then there's a human side to God that we need to keep our mind around. And that human side to God is the compassion of God. And C.S. Lewis said the hardness of God is softer than the softness of men. There's a soft, compassion, compelling side of God. And God has this desire to be in fellowship with the human beings that he has created. So much so that God sent Jesus Christ, his son, to redeem the universe that had in fact turned its back on him. There is the reassurance of God. The reassurance of God is that Jesus tells us that he came into this world never to bring condemnation, but only to bring redemption. And I think to myself often that would our world not be different if our churches had emblazoned on their narthexes as you walked in, no condemnation zone? Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't it be something if we had this sense of the deep and abiding compassion and reassurance of God in everything that we do? Well, the Logos is filled with that, the touchstone of God. If you want to know what God is like, look to the person of Jesus Christ. He is triune with God. He is a part of the Godhead. He represents whom God is. And Jesus Christ, the scripture says, left the throne room of heaven and took on the robe, the flesh that you and I have, in order that we might see and understand and fully comprehend what God is like. For him, nothing that we have was created. So keep that in mind. Now, if you want to talk to us, if you want to get in contact, go to stevebonenberger.com. Steve Bonenberger. This is for writers and creatives. Travel far.